So I directed an episode, which, holy shit, Helene!
Yeah, I'm sure.
Whoa!
Welcome to Dance Dish, where the dance ends and the dish begins. I am thrilled to be sitting next to a 3-time Emmy winner as a choreographer. She has graciously welcomed us into her home, and a student of mine for many years, and my friend. Please welcome the one and only Mandy Moore.
Ah, thank you.
I
love it.
All right. I would like to talk about a series that you've been doing called Zoey's Playlist.
Yes.
Tell us. That's, a series.
Yeah.
Must be a whole process, right?
A whole totally different world.
Totally different world.
Especially because I'd been, prior to that, living in the live television world with Dancing with the Stars and So You Think.
Yeah,
so
reality.
I completely pivot and went into series scripted.
Yeah.
And a funny story is the creator of Zoey's Extraordinary Playlist is Austin Winsberg. And years ago, this is a weird story, which is, again, you'll appreciate this story, but when I was kind of first on So You Think, I got hired to create a wedding dance for a friend of one of the Fox executives. Okay, so it was they're like, our friends love So You Think, could you do their wedding dance?
Yeah.
And part of the wedding dance, the wedding party performed. There was one rehearsal. They were all drunk half the rehearsal. It was a very funny experience.
Yeah.
And I remember enjoying it. Cut to, years later, I was doing another project for a film that I was developing, and we were at a lunch with a writer that was being brought in.
Oh.
That writer was Austin Winsberg. And so we sit down to lunch, and he's like, oh yeah, I know who you are. I was in that wedding party dance you did.
Oh
10 years ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so funny enough, and I remembered him vaguely. I remembered, I was like, oh, I remember. He was very funny at the rehearsal, and he's a really wonderful human. And he was like, oh, and I've just ever since then been a fan of yours. And I was like, oh, thanks. Somehow we were connected by that lunch.
Yeah.
And he texted me, hey, I've got this script that I think might get picked up for, we might do a pilot.
Yeah.
Would you be open to reading it, maybe coming in and choreographing? I was like, great. Sends me the pilot script, and I was immediately in love. I was like, oh, this is amazing. How are we gonna do this, right?
Yeah.
I got the job, and then that started the Austin, Mandy awesomeness of Zoey's. So the process of the pilot, obviously, when you're creating a world is, there's so much development, especially with something like that, because you're trying to figure out how are you gonna tell this story of this girl's mind and her kind of seeing the way these people behave, but no one else sees it. It was a really difficult kind of code to crack as to visually how we were gonna tell that.
So, the process alone, how long is that?
When we were in series, it would be, it'd be hard to explain. I wish I could show you a calendar, but basically it was I'd be creating 2 to 3 episodes out.
Yeah.
I'd be rehearsing the episode that was coming up.
Right.
And I'd be shooting the episode we'd be shooting.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So it was again, a real matrix of scheduling. And, in the end, I think we added the numbers up, and it was something like 160 numbers over the 2 seasons.
So when you were also producer and choreographer, or
I was choreographer on the pilot. And then because I was working so well and had brought so much to the team.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I'd really love to be a producer. And they said, 1,000% you need to be. So, and then season 2, I got a chance to direct. So I directed an episode, which, holy shit, Helene!
Yeah, I'm sure.
Whoa! My
Talk
first
about homework, right?
Oh my God. Luckily I knew that show inside and out, and I had created already a lot of the language of the musical numbers. So the language of the show was something that I knew very well, and I knew the crew really well, obviously. Talk about But
anyway, so did they say, would you like to do this, or did you say, I would like to do this? Or
that's a good question. I had been talking to Austin about it, and he's like, you should direct. Every director that came, I was like, you should direct.
Yeah.
And I just said, well, if the time's right, maybe I will sometime, or after this, I'd love to look into it.
Yeah.
Whatever, it's fine. And then a spot opened up and they came to me and said, we would just really love for you to direct.
That's
Do you want to do
amazing.
it? And I was like, yes.
You're like, yes, but holy shit.
Yes, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then it's like, you know, everyone's looking at you.
Yeah.
Like, it's real easy to be over here doing your
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But as soon as everyone's looking at you,
So how did that go?
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it. Like, it really,
Girl.
I was, I was so lucky to
Yeah.
have that be my first television
Yeah.
directing job because, again, like, I'm not walking into something that I don't know. So I was super, super lucky to get to do that.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, it is great. And I think it's okay to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
You know, because we work hard.
Yeah.
No matter what anyone thinks, and it doesn't matter what anyone thinks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Should we toast?
I'm way down for a toast.
Okay, so I have one extremely important question to ask you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
When are you gonna come to my class?
Oh, shit. I'm going to have to drink a lot of tequila before I do that.
That's gonna happen before we die, right?
Okay, I'm in.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm going to have to practice.
Mandy
because
Moore, I love you.
I love you
Yeah.
too.
Here's to you.
Here's to you, Helene. Thank
And
you.
here's to Dance Dish.
The dance Dance Dish.